everyone, welcome back to another Beauty Pie review, or if you're new here, hi, I'm Faye and today we are talking about Beauty Pie lipsticks. So, I have 6 lipstick formulas to talk to you about today. We have the 3 FutureLipstick formulas, the Matte, the Satin and the Luxe Shine, plus the Fantasticolour Sculpting Lipsticks, and our 2 Twist Up Crayon formulas, the PowderStick Matte and the Shine Up Balm. And I think I got all those names right, which is a good start. So what we're going to do is work from the most matte through to the most shiny. We're not going to talk about liquid lips or glosses because, to be honest, that would be way too much for one video. So let's get started. Our first formula is the FutureLipstick Matte, which I have here in the shade Takeover. Now this is a true matte lipstick. What do I mean by that? I mean that it dries down to a completely matte transfer resistant finish. So it goes on quite creamily and then you need to wait 10 minutes or so for it to dry down to its matte finish. But once it's had that time, it basically doesn't transfer at all. When you drink, you can see on the glass, there's basically nothing there. And when you blot it, a tiny amount comes off. But honestly, so little. This really is a true matte. So how does it wear when you eat? Pretty well, and I did eat a bagel with cream cheese, and there was a lot of cream cheese on there, so it really got tested. And you can see that just around the center of the lips, I have lost lipstick. It does need to be touched up, but this isn't a liquid lipstick, so you're always going to get some loss of product when you do something like eat. I think this holds up really well. It's very long wearing. What are the downsides? The downsides are that it is quite drying. So you will have seen in the video, I prepped my lips with moisturizer before I went in with this lipstick. And honestly, it's so necessary because, like many mattes, as it dries down, you start to feel it sucking just some of the moisture out of your lips. And if your lips aren't prepped with something to kind of hydrate them and plump them up, they will get a bit like lined and shrivelly from the lipstick sort of drying your lips up a little bit. I'm not saying it's super bad. I mean, I'm wearing it today, so obviously I still like it, but just keep in mind that you do need to prepare your lips. It will pick up on any dry patches, like pretty much any matte lipstick. So exfoliation and preparation are important, but it is still a really pretty lipstick. And if you're looking for something that's not gonna transfer when you like kiss your partner on the cheek, this is a good option for you. What do I prefer though out of the 2 matte formulas? Because next we have the PowderStick Matte Lip Crayon. Long name. This is also a matte, so what's the difference? This one is slightly less matte. I have the PowderStick in the shade Chocolate. I had a little trouble getting this on just because I had so much moisturizer on my lips from wearing the FutureLipstick Matte. My lips were so dry that I had to put a lot of moisturizer on them, and then the pencil was just sort of gliding across my lips and the colour wasn't coming off. But I promise you that this is plenty pigmented. It was just all that cream. Once you've got it on, again, it needs a little time to dry down, and then it is again a very matte formula. There's a little bit more transfer than with the FutureLipstick Matte. A little bit more comes off when you blot, but again, it's a minimal difference. It's not that big. And I actually prefer the PowderStick Crayon because it is just slightly less matte. And I mean slightly, because you can see, again, I've eaten and there's pretty much comparable results. You know, it's not really come off any more than with the FutureLipstick Matte. It still really stayed put very nicely, just needs a little touch up in the center of the lips. And although, yes, it's a matte, so it is still a bit drying, it is less drying than the FutureLipstick Matte. So if you have dry lips like me, you might want to consider going with the PowderStick over the FutureLipstick. Just my personal opinion. Okie doke, moving on to the next one, we have now a slightly less matte, but what I would consider almost demi-matte formula, and that's the FutureLipstick Satin, which I have in the shade Pinup. Now this is a beautiful formula. The Satin is one of my favourite lipstick formulas from Beauty Pie, and that's because it goes on creamily, it's super pigmented. Yes, okay, there is a bit more transfer. Some of it is going to come off when you drink. You can see when I've blotted my lips, there is more product coming off on the tissue. But it's so pigmented that even with a bit of that product loss, you look at the lips, you honestly couldn't tell that anything had come off at all, because all of that pigment just means it still looks so good. Also, like, I think this looks really pretty after you blot it, so you can get two different kinds of looks. If you just apply it, it will dry down a bit again over time to a slightly less creamy, shiny finish, and it has just a gentle sheen, not creamy, not matte, just a gentle sheen. If you blot it, you will get a slightly more, what I would consider a demi-matte effect for your lipstick. Now, when you eat, this actually has really good staying power, despite not being like a proper matte lipstick that you'd expect to just glue to your lips. It is transferring, but it is also holding up quite well. So again, just need a touch up around the center of the lips, which I am perfectly willing to do. Unlike the mattes, this is a much more comfortable lipstick to wear. It's not drying on the lips. It feels fine. It's not something that you're going to be super worried about like prepping your lips for, so it's a bit less effort. And it's still a really, really beautiful finish that I think is absolutely lovely. Moving on now to our more creamy, hydrating formulas. And we've got the Fantasticolour Sculpting Lipstick, which I have in the shade Apple Bottom. Weird name, but very pretty colour. Now, this is the closest to a just bog standard lipstick formula, and I don't mean anything bad by that. I just mean that it's your typical creamy lipstick that's gonna have that medium wear. It's not super shiny, it doesn't dry down to a matte, it's just a standard lipstick, and there is nothing wrong with that. It's a really nice formula, it's really pigmented, and the special thing about this, I think, is more the packaging, because as you can see, it's a very narrow bullet with a very small surface area there at the top, and this makes it easy to apply precisely. So if you're like me and you have smaller lips and you find something like this, to be honest, quite a large surface area for applying to your smaller lips, you might want to check out the Sculpting Lipstick because of that smaller precision application bullet that it has. Obviously, in terms of transfer and wear, like I said, it's pretty much a standard lipstick. So you are going to get transfer, it is going to come off. I'm not testing these creamier formulas with eating because, to be honest, I can't eat 6 meals in a day, but also because there's not much point in testing the creamier formulas because they just are going to come off, and we know that, and we'd only be getting what we'd expect. So pretty much your standard lipstick, but there is really nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful, beautiful creamy formula. So next we have the Shine Up Balm, which I have in the shade Sexy Berry, which for me is kind of a my lips but better shade. Now, you could debate whether this is a lipstick, but I feel that it has a reasonable amount of pigment, enough pigment to be considered a lip colour rather than a lip tint or a balm, because there is colour payoff here. Now, it's not as pigmented as, say, your FutureLipstick Satin or your Fantasticolour Sculpting Lipstick, but there is enough pigment there for it to be worth your money. And I think this is a really lovely formula just for like every day to put in your handbag if you're going to work. I mean, I know a lot of us are working from home and just showing up on Zoom looking terrible. That's what I do anyway. But if you are looking for something that you can just take with you for a day when you're not wearing a ton of makeup, you just want something easy, something hydrating, something that has a balm texture but with some colour payoff, this is a really beautiful product. Obviously, it's going to transfer, it's going to wear off. Of all of the products, this is the one where once you blot it, it's now the hardest to see the product on the lips, and that's because it does have less pigment, but it's really easy to touch up and reapply. And for just daily wear, I think this is a really, really beautiful lip balm. And also, by the way, these stick formulas, they twist up. So you don't have to worry about what happens when you wear down the top of the bullet, because I've had some where you actually have to like sharpen it and it never goes well. Like literally, it has never worked for me having a crayon that you have to sharpen, because it's fine for an eye pencil, but a lip formula is just too soft to hold up in a sharpener. So both of these crayons twist up, so you don't have to worry about the packaging at all. finally, one of my favourites up there with the satin is the FutureLipstick Luxe Shine, and this is intensely shiny. I have the shade Total Riot, and you can see this is so pigmented and so shiny. Now this basically is insane. Like, I do not have a lipstick that is comparable in the amount of shine to this one. It is beautiful. It's been one of my favourite lipsticks for quite a while now. It's the first lipstick I ever purchased off Beauty Pie. I have a couple of shades and I get a lot of wear out of them. They do also have a slightly different bullet shape to the other Future lipsticks. It's slightly smaller. I find this bullet a little bit easier to apply, which is good because as a shiny product, this is one that does need touching up. Because it's super shiny, super hydrating, you do get a lot of transfer. This is the one that transfers the most out of all of the lipstick formulas, but that is a price I'm willing to pay for the amount of shine that this lipstick has. It's so pretty. Yeah, it's not the most long wearing, but if you want something that has the shine of a gloss and the pigment of a lipstick, I would totally recommend the Luxe Shine. And it smells really good as well, by the way. Like, it has a fruity, vanilla-y, cakey, I don't know, it smells delicious. I kind of want to eat it. It actually makes me hungry. And that's a good thing as well about all of the Beauty Pie lipsticks is none of them smell like weird, none of them smell floral. No, they all of the Future lipsticks have the same kind of vanilla scent, and then the others, in my opinion, don't really smell that much. Maybe that's just my nose. But you don't have to worry, they don't have any kind of weird floral scent like the L'Oreal lipsticks. You know what I'm talking about? They smell like Parma Violets, it's very strange. Okay, so to wrap up, what do I recommend? I really love the FutureLipstick Satin. You're getting something more long wearing than a traditional lipstick. It's not drying, it's a really pretty demi-matte, tiny amount of sheen type of finish. It's just so pigmented, it's creamy, it's a beautiful formula. If you are looking for something that is transfer resistant, I would go with the PowderStick. That's just my preference over the FutureLipstick Matte because I find it less drying and I'm willing to pay the price of that just tiny bit more transfer that it has for it to not just like destroy my lips by the end of the day. The Luxe Shine, like I just said, is one of my absolute favourites if you're looking for a glossy lipstick. I don't think there's a better one out there, to be honest, and that's like high praise. So honestly, there are no bad formulas here. There are no bad formulas. It really just depends upon what you want. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, if you enjoyed it. I do a fair amount of Beauty Pie reviews. I have others on my channel that you can go and watch, and they seem to be launching quite a lot of new products quite regularly. So I foresee continuing to do Beauty Pie reviews well into the future. I'm gonna go eat my dinner. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.